Okay, so a few problems today, and this will prepare you for your test. We have a test on Thursday. Thursday we have a test. Do you have school on Friday?
No.
No, it's a great thing. You guys are all juniors and seniors. If I were walking in 8th grade class right now, they would be surprised they don't have school on Friday because they just don't think like that. You know what I mean? But you guys know you don't have school on Friday. How about the following Monday?
No.
How about the following Tuesday?
Yes.
Yep, we're back on Tuesday. So you get 4-day weekend start out here. So we got 4 days this week, then a 4-day weekend. You got 4 days of school. So kind of a nice way to start. What is 20% of 84? People get confused when they see percents. I'm going to make it simple for you. We are going to write this language in mathematics. The question is what? What means X? Is means equals. Anybody want to guess what I write instead of 20%? 0.2. The word of means multiplication. What is 20% of 84? That's what this means right there. So what I want you to be able to do on a test is be able to take the phrase and be able to write it mathematically. Now I can go ahead and multiply this. No big deal. I take 84 times 0.2. 2 times 4 is 8. Then 2 times 8 is 16. Where does the decimal point go? After the 8, the 6, the 1, or in front of the 1? It goes after the 6 because I have 1 decimal point, so I move it one way this direction, and I have 16.8. This is your answer. Are you surprised it's smaller than 84?
No.
We're grabbing 20% of 84, so we're grabbing a part of 84, so we want it to be smaller. The next one, what is 125% of 60? Well, that's more than 100%, so we should get a number that is bigger than 60. So what is 125%? What do I write instead of 125%? 1.25. You move that decimal point 2 places. Of means multiplication. 1.25 times 60. Okay? So I have x is equal to, I take 1.25 and I multiply by 60. I'm going to just drop the 0. 6 times 5 is 30. I carry my 3. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Carry my 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Add 1 is 7. How many decimal points?
2.
I got 2, so I move it 2 over. So 75 is 125% of 60. I think some of you guys would like to be able to see this as well. So 125% is like 100% and 25%. Agreed?
Yeah.
What's 100% of 60?
60.
60. See if you know this. What's 25% of 60? 15. See that? Okay, so multiple ways of thinking through that piece. Okay? All right, let's move it on to a couple that are just slightly more challenging. How is the next one different? Yeah, exactly. It starts with a number instead of the what is. So we're going to say 5, then what? Equals 0.12 of what number? So times x. So 5 is equal to 0.12x. So that's the equation we're trying to solve for x. What do you got to do to both sides? Divide by 0.12. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.12. I'm dividing by a decimal. We don't like to divide by decimals, so what do we do instead? What do we do with this decimal point? Whoa, look at that. Come on, Mr. Gentz. Yeah, we move it how many places to make it not a decimal? 2. So you're going to take the top one and move it 2 places as well. So it's like 5 500 divided by 12. That's what this means, okay? I will give you guys your calculator on this part of the test as you figure out 500 divided by 12 or 5 divided by 0.12. I'll work it out by hand just so you can see how it works. I get 12 goes into 500. How many times does 12 go into 50? Anybody?
4.
Goes in 4 times. That gives me 48. I subtract and I get 2. I drop the 0. How many times 12 go into 20? Goes in once. That gives me 12. I subtract and I get 8. Drop the 0. So it's 41 point something. If you divide it on your calculator, you get 41 point something. And I'll just ask you to carry it out to 2 decimal places. All right, let's look at example 4. 10 is what percent of 80? You write the equation on your own. See if you can write the equation. Don't worry about solving it. We'll solve it together, but try to write the equation. Go ahead. Okay, you should have 10 equals what percent? So say x times 80. You should have something like that. Okay? I want to solve that. What do I do to both sides? Divide by 80. 10 over 80 is the same as what? 1 over 8. So you want to figure out what 1 over 8 is as a percent. Anytime you're trying to convert a fraction into a decimal, you just take the bottom one and you divide it into the top one. 8 goes into 1 0 times. But 8 goes into 10 once. That gives me 8. When I subtract, I get 2. Drop my 0. 8 goes into 20 twice. Gives me 16. And 8 goes into 40 5 times. So the answer is 0.125, but if I were to write it as a percent, what would it look like? 12.5%. Good. Excellent. Okay. So I'll give you your calculator on questions like that and like this, okay? But the stuff we started with at the beginning of the unit, that's stuff you need to be able to handle without a calculator. I'll be very clear on that as we practice tomorrow and Friday. Okay, so 3 questions about averages. How do I compute average? Add them up and divide by the numbers. So I have 4 plus 3 plus 10 plus 9 plus 12. And I divide that by how many? There are 5 things I'm adding up. So I divide by 5 to compute the average. I have 4 and 3 make 7. 17. 17 plus 9 is 26. Plus 12 is 38. I add those up to get 38. So you could take on your calculator 38 divided by 5. Or if you've used some of the reasoning we've done in class, you could say 5 goes into 38 how many times? 7 times with a remainder of 3. So 7 3/5, which is 7.6. Is it possible for me to come up with an average of, say, 14? Would it be possible to come up with an average of 14 for this problem? 14 is larger than all the other numbers, isn't it? Would it be possible for me to come up with an average of 2? It's smaller than all the other numbers, right? So it must be between the smallest number and the biggest number. So I got 7.6. Look at how the next one's different. The average of 5 numbers is 12.2. What's the sum of the 5 numbers? So you're given the average, you're given this part. You want to know the sum. Talk with your peers. See if you can figure out any approach to solving this. Talk about it. Go. Okay, anybody got a good idea? Anybody got a path? Yeah, and if you look at this formula, the way that we calculate averages, we take, you guys said the sum and divide it by the number to get the average. So let's look at what we have. It says, what is the sum? So we don't know the sum. Do we know the number of things that we're dividing or that we're adding up? How many is it? We're doing 5. Do we know the average? It's 12.2. So if this is our equation, S divided by 5 is equal to 12.2. We just want to solve. So just like Keaton said, we're going to multiply both sides by 5. As you multiply by 5, you get S is equal to 61. So we don't know what any of the 5 numbers are, but we do know that they add up to 61. And finally, this is your first real test of the year. I learned a lot about you between now and Monday. By the way, you take your tests, I get it back to you the next day, every single time, okay? Maybe once a year, there's a class, I don't get it back on the next day. But your tests are not super long, and I grade them right away, okay? So you're going to get it back right away on Tuesday. So you're going to take it on Thursday this week. But you're going to have a problem just like problem number 7 on the test, okay? Some of you already know how to do the problem, and you'll get it right on the test. Some of you don't know how to do the problem, but you're going to figure it out. Some of you don't know how to do the problem, and you won't figure it out. Not because it's too difficult, but simply because you just won't try to figure it out. You can call me bald, you can call me short, you can call me dumb, you can say the worst teacher in your entire life. I don't care. But you can't say I don't tell you what's on the test. If you say that, you're either insane or you're a liar, one of the two. You will have a problem like this. I'm waiting for the class who we have 100% of people get this right. You really want to make me mad, then write this on the test. You give me that, I call home. Don't give me that. Try something. The days of leaving problems blank on a test are over, folks. Everybody here says there's a chance you may want to go on to college, which is why you're taking this class. You don't leave things blank. Absolutely not. Unacceptable. I need effort. And clearly, effort is a heck of a lot more important than mathematics anyways. So, let's do the problem. By the way, this is real life stuff. Joe wants an average of 80 or better on his test. His current test scores are 60, 76, and 98. Yay, he rocked the last one, right? Mom said, hey, Joe, if you have an average of 80, I'm going to buy a puppy. What kind of dog would you want? Bernese Mountain Dog? A Corgi? What, like a little rat? Oh, I don't like rodents for pets. I got a boxer. She's about that big. I'll show you a picture of my dog after we get done with the lesson, okay? She's super cute. She's a boxer, okay? He wants to average an 80, so he's wondering what does he need on his 4th test. Is that a reasonable question to ask? Yeah, it's a reasonable question. So I'm just going to say if you take the sum and you divide it by the number, you're going to get the average. That's a formula that you guys all know and understand. No, I don't give that to you on the test. You know that. You've all said that the average is the sum divided by the number. So let's find the sum. We've got a 60. We've got a 76. We've got a 98. And what else do I need? So since we don't know, what are we going to write? X. We're going to say we've got X. We don't know what his 4th test score is. Could be 80. Could be 95. Could be 32. We don't know what it is. But we do know he's going to have a total of how many tests? 4. So we divide it by 4. And that's equal to the average. What should his average be? It should be 80. This is the setup. Is there any question how I have the setup? Pretty straightforward. So we want to solve this. I want to get rid of dividing by 4. So what should I do to both sides? Multiply, and we get 60 plus 76 plus 98 plus x is equal to 320. That's what we have. Now you got two options. You can either add all three of these together and subtract it over, or you could subtract them over one by one. I'm just going to add them together. 60 and 76 make 136, plus 98 is 234. So 234 plus x is 320. I subtract that 234 off from each side. And I get x is equal to 86. He needs an 86 on the test in order to get the dog. I think we should have a classroom dog in every room in the school. What do you guys think? Yeah, I agree.
I hope no one's allergic to dogs.
What?
I hope no one's allergic to dogs.
Then you know what? They got to take one for the team. You know what? Take one for the team. X is 86. Dog could pee on the carpet. We could train it to use the bathroom. That could be kind of fun. Really clear about the expectation the rest of the week. We've got Tuesday, we got Wednesday, we got Thursday, and we got Friday. Okay? And today's Monday. Today's Monday. We did our third lesson. Okay? We have a test on Friday. No, you have no school on Friday. We got a test on Thursday, which means tomorrow I give you a study guide and you have your practice, and then you're going to work on any leftover homework as well. On Wednesday, you're going to get a practice in class again. You're going to continue to work on your study guide questions if you need to finish up homework, but on your test on Thursday, you're going to hand in that study guide and the homework, okay? That's when I want to see it handed in. We'll get you a score. I want everybody to do super well. I want, a bunch of scores at 90% or better. I like it when people have A's in the grade book. Suppose that you have an off day and you score a 15%. Are you stuck with that 15%? No, you can retest any test in my class up to 80%. Okay? So that'll help you out. So we'll get something in the grade book right away. Hopefully everybody will all be good. We're set to go. Good? Okay, this class is out at 42, which means you have approximately 15 minutes. You're ready to do that third page in your homework. If you need to use your calculator at all for any of that, you sure can. That's the last part of your homework. How did it go on Friday? Were you able to accomplish what I asked you to?
Yeah.
Were you able to get the link for the recording and everything and stuff like that on Google Classroom? Your answers? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, I'll be around to answer questions. I got something to do to get ready for next class.